Sick. Okay. I'm trying to think of an introduction I could do now, and it's like not working in my head. Díoghuiche Corja. Welcome to Seasaigh suas, a podcast funded by the Kildare County Council to raise awareness against the active, or to raise awareness for the active bystander effect and the current, I don't know, but what would I say? The current state of the world in relation to racism. My name is Chloe, and with me we have...
Bujinadu, here in the flesh.
I'm terrified that mic is not picking up what you're saying.
It is, though.
It is?
Yeah, definitely.
Because it's like in your chin.
Yeah, but it would be. It's a good mic.
We're leaving this in.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Would you like to give an introduction to everybody, Abu, about who you are, what you're doing?
It's Newbridge raised, Nigerian born, artist, studied in NCAD, sculpture. Just here today to have a conversation with a friend of mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, we will indeed. God bless.
Okay. So do you think that the Irish society is well educated on the topic of racism and discrimination?
I don't think so. I feel like in Irish society there is a big denial on the ability for Irish people to be racist, because I feel like as a society and just as a culture, Irish people are quite welcoming, and they don't have any strong prejudices against people for the most part. So they almost would deny their own ability to be racist as a result, simply because they're like I don't have any issue, but it's not always that black and white. You can have racist actions and say racist things without necessarily having those feelings. You get me?
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
That it's not necessarily the person, it's just certain ways that they go about certain people and certain topics that's, as one would say, racist.
Yeah.
And why do you think... And do you think there is levels of discrimination for certain ethnicities and groups of people within Ireland?
Yes. Honestly, I feel as though now with the current climate of Ireland, there's a general I don't know how I'd describe it, and an unease with the idea of what people call aliens, I guess, immigrants.
Yeah.
Yes, there's a general unease with them, but I feel as though it is no way inherent to the Irish people or the Irish culture to have such a mind when it comes to immigrants, because I feel as though, as even historically, the Irish people have always left this country, and they have always been the people that people wanted to go home. You know what I mean? They were always so I find it quite strange that now that it's almost like they've forgotten, because normally they tend to be quite compassionate with those that come in. I feel as though, honestly, if I can be honest, that it's caused by it's caused by those. Honestly, I feel like those on the right are creating a narrative that is violent and ill intent, and is leading to prejudice that is not inherent within the Irish people. And if we even to talk about discrimination, I feel like it's important that we mention, I don't believe there is a people in Ireland that is more discriminated against than the Irish traveller. I have the level of discrimination I have faced. Granted, I would also say I have faced a fair bit of discrimination from Irish travellers specifically, but I will say that the level of discrimination I faced in Ireland would be nothing compared to the level of discrimination I have seen for the travelling communities. And
How does that make you feel
it's
to witness another group of people facing similar experiences that you have,
yeah.
while also having Irish in their title?
It's so confusing, truly, because I'm like, why do you hate them so much? Honestly, that's how I think in my brain, and like I could also say I am very much a not a victim, a accomplice in the fact that I have always been like I'm a bystander to it. Like I am aware of the like hateful things and like even just the sly remarks people make towards travelers and the traveling community. But I've never been one to specifically speak up against those because also I think for me personally I'd say it's even somewhat of a defense because like I'm like at least they're not coming for me. Like, at least you know
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean.
yeah.
Like they're not coming for me, but like but like that's not right. That's not right. Like I see, and I do. Honest to God, I've always in my heart taken issue to to what will be said, and I have never really understood it because like especially I swear coming to Ireland as an immigrant and like sure I grew up here, but like I was always like, but like, are you guys not both Irish? Like. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? What's the difference? I don't understand it. And I feel like that's also another thing. People don't believe that they can be racist towards travelers, so they allow themselves to be even more racist because they don't think it counts because they're
yeah,
both Irish. But like you are splitting them into their own separate category, and you are treating them differently because of that category, and you are discriminating upon them, and you are actively alienating them from the rest of society, and that in itself is racism, and there's no other word for it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And what would you say to someone, whether it's a young person or even I know an older generation would partake in it as well, of this idea it's not my place to get involved?
Yeah.
Whether it's to intervene in the situation it's had, or maybe they're white Caucasian, don't think it's my place to speak up, like not my problem, I'm not the one doing it, I'm not racist, but I will allow my friends or my colleagues or people I exist in a space with to portray those ideas and heinous beliefs towards specific groups of people.
Everybody who witnessed the crucifixion of Jesus Christ is burning in hell, in my mind, and that is a statement that I think can be said about everything. Every everybody in Germany that watched the Nazis, everybody who you cannot if you stand by and claim that like, look, I am not the one doing it. You are always just as guilty as the ones in action. Or no matter what your circumstances, if you have the ability to speak and you choose not to speak, then you have made your choice and to be on the wrong side.
Yeah.
I feel as though the only way forward is for us to no longer just stand idly by. I feel as though for this to work, you gotta
Be active.
yeah, be active and be honest and be truthful with how you feel and stand up for those you feel are being wronged. And Tabitha, stop clicking that pen. God.
It's a lighter.
Yeah. God. Yeah.
And how do you think that looks to be an active bystander? In its simplest forms, in a situation, what would that look like?
Well, I think it would look like just calling people out on things. That's the first step. I feel like literally, if you hear someone say something that you're like, that's not right. You literally just say, nah, why the fuck did you say that? Like, why you don't have the right to say that? Are you really? The first step is holding people accountable for their mistakes, and then I feel like the second is to actively try and adjust people's minds and educate people on why those were mistakes.
And what would you say is, I know it's a bigger question about what would you say is the greatest threat that racist acts, whether they're microaggressions or overt racism, pose to the younger generation today that young people are witnessing or experiencing?
I feel like the greatest threat is just a repeat of history. I feel like that's the greatest threat with most things. I feel as humans, maybe it's something evolutionary, but we have a knack for following patterns, and like we pass a lot more on to our children than we realize, and we get a lot more from our parents than we realize. And I think the greatest threat that racism causes to the youth is that it will persist into the youth. I feel as though the what we should be aiming for is, honestly, no child in this world could be born a racist. Not even children don't even know to be afraid of anything. The only two fears that we know for certain are inherent is the fear of loud noises and what's the other one?
Pain.
Pain? No, it's not actually pain. It's not actually pain. Pain's more reaction. But yeah, like the fear of other people, the fear of anything else, none of that is inherent. All of that comes from your parents. And I think we should just aim to stop the cycle here. Yeah.
And why do you think that people hesitate to intervene when it comes to witnessing, as a bystander, racist actions or beliefs?
Sorry, say that one more time.
Why do you think that people, whether they're a bystander and witnessing these acts, would hesitate to get involved and to stop or to speak, that they don't believe that, to intervene in the situation?
Fear.
Fear?
Fear of being prosecuted themselves. Fear of not fitting in. Fear of, yeah, just it's simply an act of fear. But I feel as though for the world to change, we must be brave. We must stand up for what we believe in, and we must speak the truth when this truth hasn't been spoken, and that is the only path forward.
And in terms of, you've every right to deny this question, or we can cut it out in the edit, if just whatever. But what would be your experience as a young man of colour from Ireland, and have you experienced quite a traumatic upbringing through racism, or has it been quite passive? Is it microaggressions, or are people outright racist?
There's, to be so frank, to go into this, we could have spent the whole podcast talking about that in itself. There's many acts of racism I've experienced through my life. I have been in from both people in Ireland, both people in Nigeria, both people. I've experienced racism in many regards from a lot, but I feel as though we do not have the time to get into that one today. So we'll leave that. We'll leave that there.
Have a sequel.
Yeah, we'll go. Yeah. But yes. That was a lovely conversation there. How long was that one there?
Have you witnessed any direct instances of racism, and particularly how did you respond?
Reiterate this question, can we say, just ask me, have you experienced racism in your direct life as a black man in Ireland? Just say it like that.
I feel like the answer is obviously yes. But
No,
maybe
but
that's
like
insensitive.
but just no, it's not insensitive. It's not insensitive. Just like say it.
What
like
has been your experience as a black man living in Europe? And I'm gonna say that again because I said Europe.
Yeah.
What has been your experience, Abu, as a black man living in Ireland and growing up here as an immigrant? And what has been your experience when it comes to racism?
Oh, damn, the hard-hitting questions, Chloe.
I know. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Well, what to even say? It's to be honest, there's been ups, there's been downs. It's really hard to say because as a whole, again, I would reiterate, I feel like the Irish people are welcoming people, but that does not mean they are not capable of racism and do not partake within racism. I feel as though, but most of the racism I have encountered in my life has been quite passive. It mostly comes in when the first time I go to my friend's house, the way their parents look at me, it's not they don't look at me with hatred, they don't look at me with anger, they just look at me with like they're just uncomfortable with my presence. And it's that uncomfortability that that I've noticed the most. Many times I will be somewhere and I know people are uncomfortable with my presence, and and they sometimes that uncomfortability manifests in them in a way in which they feel as though they need to overly try and accept me, and then they end up like almost like they end up causing microaggressions by trying to like act in a way that they feel will be welcoming, and then they act like they would try act quote unquote black to be like, oh,
Oh.
I'm like with you, or
And how does that look?
it looks so stupid. That's how it looks. Like, yeah, like it looks like what you doing. I can't even. It's more so like nobody. They are so unaware of it within themselves. But from me looking at them, I know what they do, and like also I would say that uncomfortability could also come in like sometimes people will be honestly will be just afraid of me, and I feel as though because like when I am especially like in college and school and everything, I have been there's been many times where I have looked at the people around me and realized like, wait, you guys are scared of me, and it hurts my feelings to be honest, because I'd say I can be quite the expressive person. I can be loud. If I'm talking about something I'm passionate about, I will raise my voice. I talk loud. But then like if I am having some debate with someone and I'm getting loud or passionate, they will look at me and they'll be like, no no no, Abu, calm down, Abu, calm down. And then I'm like, these will be my friends that are telling me,
Yeah.
and I'm like, what do you actually think I can do to you in this moment? Like I'm just talking to you, and then what it makes me feel almost as though I am not really human to be honest, because like you just in that I'm like why you're actually afraid of me, like
Yeah.
what did I do to you to like I've never even I could barely kill a fly, let alone hurt someone. So I it just it that has been something that's always hurt me, like those things like that, those are actions of racism that like I think I experience on like day to day, or even just like you have like random remarks or things like most of the racism is subtle and quiet, and like it's never enough for me to like truly complain. But
Yeah.
yeah, like but that's that yeah. But I would also say the plenty of racism is not quiet though. Like I would say you as growing up, you'd be walking home, and a car would drive past you, and everybody in the car would scream nigger. I like they'll just scream the N word, like they'll just like or you'll be walking and a group of lads will just start screaming it at you. I've been called every kind of slur by everybody in my life. I have had multiple actions of hate speech said against me. I have been even within secondary school. Within secondary school, there was a long period of time in which everybody that even I at that point I would still consider them my friends because I had nobody else. But they would all non-stop come up to me and say slurs to my face because they thought it was funny. Like it was like it would but like at that point in time, like I didn't have either the strength or the confidence, or even like I just didn't want to be alone. So I
Yeah.
just had to I just had to kind of accept it. And there's been multiple, yeah, look,
Do you think it's forced you into a unique situation in where you have to, like you were saying with the microaggressions, it's not
Yeah.
enough to call it out in the moment because not everyone will understand.
Yeah.
Do you think it's caused you to have to create a scale in terms of negative behavior towards you, that there's a level that's passable because you can't say, you feel you can't say anything?
Yeah.
And what are your boundaries when
Yes.
it comes to people casually using microaggressions
Yes.
or maybe being insensitive?
Absolutely, absolutely. That is such a good. I've never really thought about it like that, but there absolutely is a scale of like what, like, and to be honest, the scale goes so much higher than you would imagine. Like, I could honestly, like, I could accept someone calling me the N word to my face, and like not feel the need to like aggress against them, if it didn't come past my scale. Like, if someone called me there, I would feel the need. I would, of course, it might have to say something to them, but I would not be like, it would not be the reaction that I think is actually valid for that. Cause like
Yeah.
genuinely, it like I am in my life, I am so desensitized to most acts of racism towards me that
Yeah.
unless it is something like abruptly abruptly like cruel or vicious, it would not be able to tip my scale to the point of me even like having so like a complete like even like, let's say, a violent reaction or like a furious reaction, because
Yeah.
I'm just so aware that like, man, like just fuck these people. Like, I don't even like, I'm not even like, I know, I guess you just say I'm used to it, to be
Yeah,
honest.
and how does that make you feel then if, like, you've existed in spaces and you've had slurs said to you in front of people who call themselves your friend,
Yeah.
and they are either not a person of colour or those slurs might not necessarily be thrown towards them,
Yeah.
and they become and they say nothing, that they don't have your back,
Yeah.
that they don't defend you? How does that make you feel in terms of friendship even?
It's betrayal, but I'd say now in my life, as I've matured, I've gained self-respect, and I have a lot of pride in myself and in my skin color, and in my culture, and in my love of Ireland, and in my love of Nigeria, in my love of my friends, to the point in which I don't think those same situations can happen the way they used to happen.
Yeah.
Like, as I am now, and with the trust I have in my friends, there is nobody in this life that could insult me in front of the people that I care about, and the people I care about would not, to be honest, would not kill them. Like, if I have to be real,
Yeah.
yeah, like it would be, it's I and that, and I'm very happy and very prideful in the fact that I have that with me, and that I have a tight knit group of people that I know love and support me, but yeah, although they are there indeed, and but in my circle, I know I can trust that they would never be a bystander, at least to me. But I can still say that, like, you do see often when it mostly, like, other people would pick up on a microaggression that would just be said, but like they will not be like, say something, but they don't say anything because they are neither close enough to me to feel like they have to, or the fact that I don't say anything either. You know what I mean? So it's like everybody is at fault in ways. Yeah.
And is it, in an ideal world, in terms of microaggressions, which would you prefer if the people you are surrounded by, whether they're friends or colleagues or whatever relationship it is, are calling out microaggressions on your behalf? Or would you rather they played it on how they know you? If you get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Like, is it a bit of I can defend myself on occasion when it comes to microaggressions, that some people think that they are
Yeah.
so great when they do it.
Because, yeah, you see, the real issue there is, obviously, I feel like, as I said before, like, you shouldn't be a bystander and you should be, like, you should stand up for what you believe in. But there is a real also other side to this, and it is the white savior that there is. And although, of course, I would say that the white savior comes from a good place, they're like, they can somehow they overdo it, and they do it to an extent in which it kind of devalues the sentiment and devalues the meaning of like calling someone out and educating them. You know, you should, yeah.
But is it safer to be on that side than say nothing at all, do you think?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I'd say it's better to be the white savior than to be the bigot. But if you can be neither, yeah.
And how do you think you can go about that? If
Just-
you were to give advice to your friends?
I think just be honest and truthful and like stand for what you believe in your heart, and like as long as you have nothing more to gain from that, other than standing on your own truth,
Yeah.
then you will just be a genuine person who's doing the right thing.
And you were saying about racism that you faced in school from people who were around you.
Yeah.
How did your school tackle racism, if they did at all? Or
Never once have they ever tackled racism in
Really?
high school. Never once. Like even there's one yeah. Even if I have reported racism to them, they never did anything for it. It's just like, I don't think they really understood how to be honest. But yeah,
and what did you need from them as a young person?
to be honest, I actually don't know. I don't know because I never got it, and I
Yeah.
was at the time I was literally too young to understand what was really the issues, and like to really understand where racism comes from and how to change it. I feel like now, if I had to guess, like what I needed from them, it wasn't what I needed. Is what the lads needed that were racist. Like they
Yeah.
needed to be educated. They needed to understand that they couldn't say the things they said. They needed to be taught that there is a right way and a wrong way to interact with other people and other races within this world. But like, I just don't think those lessons were clearly taught to them, and I don't blame any of them,
Yeah.
because like it's just how it was.
And if you could go, like, put yourself back, if you could go back in time and say something
Yeah.
to your younger self about his future or how to handle the situations he was facing, how would you say that to him? Or what would you say?
I'd say stand on 10 toes. you always gotta stand on your own 2 feet. You are great. You are beautiful. You are amazing. You are everything that this world needs you to be. You are perfect. No matter what anybody else says to you, there's no words that can come out of someone's mouth that define you. You are not a nigger. You are a bujinadu. You are a fucking boss, man. That's all I have to say to myself. And that is the end of this. All right.